Hello, welcome back to Full Steam, my project where I'm playing a random game from my Steam library every single day until I get through all of them. And there's a lot of them. There's like 300 plus games in my Steam library. There's games that I have played a lot in the past that I'm going back to, which is a lot of fun. There are games that are in my backlog that I picked up at some point and have never played, also a lot of fun. Um, and then there's games like Wingspan, which is kind of like both. Today's random game, Wingspan, the digital version of the Stonemeyer Games board game. I own the board game. I've played a lot of that. At some point, I picked up the digital edition. I've played a little bit of that, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to start doing that here. Custom game against a few AIs, a normal and a more difficult AI, and this to choose a dude who looks kind of like me or a bird. Be a duck. Seen a lot of ducks in our backyard lately. So I'm going to start this up. I love board games. I have a huge collection of them. But the tough thing about being an adult with board games is that you got to convince people to come over and play them. And part of that is you have to teach them how to play the games. And Wingspan is a game that was really popular during the pandemic. And I always wanted it, but it seemed a little too complicated for me. I've got it. I'm not going to go through the tutorial. And hopefully I can explain it so it makes sense while I'm playing it. Basically, your goal is to build the best preserve or habitats filled with birds. I'm going to turn this down just a tiny bit so I can maybe be heard a little better. Did I completely get rid of the sound? Okay. So yeah, you're building the preserves, and the sort of simplest way to explain it is you take turns going around the table, everyone building their own preserve, and on your turn you take one of four actions. You either play a bird from your hand, you activate your forest habitat to gain food, you activate your grassland habitat to lay eggs, and you activate your wetland habitat to draw cards. So these things are all sort of working in tandem. You need eggs in order to play eggs and food in order to play birds. You need birds in your hand in order to play them. So, and when you play them out, they're going to give you benefits, but you need to get that other stuff before you can get them out there to play those benefits, and you only get one action a turn. And you can see here, round one, there's 8 turns, 7 in round 2, 6 in round 3, 5 in round 4. So you start out by having 5 things, combination of birds and food. So either no birds and 5 pieces of food, or 5 birds and no pieces of food, or something in between. I am going to go with, I'm going to keep these 2 birds that are worth the most victory points, because that's how you're going to win at the end. And they need a rat and a worm and a fish, so I'm going to keep a rat, a worm, and a fish. And then you get to choose a personal bonus card. These are secret from the other players in the tabletop game. So at the end of the game, you'll get points, or I'll get points either for having birds with large wingspans or birds with eggs on them. I think I'll go with large wingspans. I remember, at least from the tabletop game, a lot of birds having large wingspans. So, started my turn. Yeah, this one already is one of those birds with a long wingspan. So, this bird, to play a bird, it has to be in the right habitat. So this one has a little wetlands in the upper left corner, so it has to be played in the wetlands. It costs 1 fish, which I have 1 fish over here, so I'm going to play this osprey.
Osprey. Ospreys are excellent hunters, catching a fish in at least 1 out of every 4 dives.
So now I have a bird in my wetlands, and that means whenever I take this wetlands action of, you can see here, it's a card, so draw a bird card. Oh, it says that right here too. It will also activate in order all the birds that I have in that habitat to the left of it. So I draw a bird card here, and then all players would gain 1 fish from the supply. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to play this kestrel with the rest of my food. Okay, so now I have, I think I can look at their boards too. Okay, I'm sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. So now, I don't have any birds in my hand, but I do have this osprey here. There's some stuff in the bird feeder. And if, oh, one more thing. That's it for the rules. Each season, there's 4 rounds, 4 seasons, has its own objective just for that season. So this one is birds in these hole-in-the-tree nests with eggs on them. This one is eggs in these sort of cluster egg nests. This one is birds in the forest. So on and so forth. I think I'm going to draw some cards because this osprey, that'll let me draw a bird card and gain a fish from the supply. So I'll do that. None of these birds, excuse me. None of these birds have that wingspan that I want. But this one is worth a lot of points, and it can get me food for free once I have it played out. So I'm going to take that one and build up to playing it in the forest. Here I gain fish from the supply. One more thing about the supply is you can always use a 2-to-1 exchange to pay for food that you don't have. So if I had 2 fish and I needed a worm, I could trade the 2 fish for 1 worm. Okay, I think that's it for the rules, mostly. I'm going to gain food from the bird feeder because I don't have nearly what I need from this guy, but I am going to need fruit. 4 turns left. I think I can get this guy in my forest woodlands area by the end of this round. So I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to get the worm that I need. And then, what's the other thing I need? I need a grain, and there's not any in the bird feeder. So, I'm going to draw another bird here. We can draw, there we go. Draw blind. So I get that black-necked stilt. I also get a fish. So now I can trade these two for one to play that one up top. That all makes sense. Play this grosbeak here.
Rose-breasted grosbeak. This pretty sweet-sounding bird has the gruesome nickname Cutthroat.
Okay, last turn. I can gain some food. I can gain some food, or what was this one? Roll all the dice not in the bird feeder. How many dice are... There are 3 not in the bird feeder, so I have a pretty good chance there. And I'm gonna need eggs in order to start playing. These are like costs. So when you start playing birds beyond that leftmost slot, it costs eggs to put them there. So I'm gonna lay some eggs. No rodents. Apparently, I did okay there. I was not even trying, but oh, there he is, right there. Okay. I think the only thing that really changes between rounds is, like, you keep your hand, you have one less action, and I think these birds get replaced. But this stilt takes 2 worms. I would love to re-roll the bird feeder, but I can't. Let's see, what am I gonna need? Skimmer. Did anyone take that food and re-roll this? Oh, see, so here I can activate this. I can take this fish I want, and then because of that, if there's fruit in there, I can take that too. And then that gets re-rolled. That's all that's in the feeder. Okay, I've got 2 fish and an egg here. So I can play this guy down here, use one of these eggs.
Black skimmer. Skimmers plow the water with their beaks, snapping shut when they hit a fish.
Here's this, if there are fish, cash it on this card. That's like the bird collecting food, and you get points for that at the end of the game. So you can't spend it, but you do get points for it at the end. I'd love to play this stilt. Let's see, I need to get some more birds up in the woods so that I can collect more food when I use that power. Anything here? This just costs 1. Oh, I get 2 now. Oh, an eastern bluebird. I saw some of those in my yard this morning. Okay. this play a bird into the same habitat, pay its normal cost, but I can't afford the cost for anything else. Maybe I'll just choose some food. Okay, I think I can do this. Play this here for that food. Spend. Oh no, I only have the one egg.
Red-eyed vireo. Nearsighted vireos flock with other birds that make noise if predators are around.
So I would love to play this, but I don't have enough eggs. Eggs anywhere. So I have to skip that. Okay. So, because of somebody else's bird, I get to draw a card. Okay. I need eggs. One of any kind of food. This one. No, I don't want to do that. So, oh wait. Let's undo that, because I can do eggs in these sort of cluster nests. Do I have any birds? This one. There we go. Okay, now I got some eggs, I got some food, so I can play this. What about this guy? Don't have enough, because this would give me a lot more points. This yellow-breasted. Do I have any eggs anywhere? There's 2 eggs. Undo that. I want to play it down here.
Yellow-breasted chat. Because these birds like dense thickets, they are more often heard than seen.
Get some more eggs. Then I can move this one up to the forest for this benefit of go all in on the... What? Oh, right. Skip that. Some more food. Okay, now I have enough to pay for anybody. Choose a card. Northern Flicker. I could go all in up here. Do I have the I have the eggs for it.
House finch. These finches are rarely alone and can flock in the hundreds.
One turn left. And I apparently have the fewest birds in the water habitat. Okay, running out of eggs. Oh, I win again. Okay. Now it's just these cup nest birds with eggs on them. I don't know if I even have any. Okay, there's this one. Oh, I have a bunch up there. So let's get some eggs. Let's put them in. Really? Okay. Let's get some food. The Northern Flicker needs a berry, and there's one in there. So, good. This mallard that's worth 0 victory points will be worth 1 for being tucked back there. And, oh, right, I get to choose another bird. Canada goose. Okay.
Canada goose. The oldest known wild Canada goose was at least 33 years old.
Wow. Okay. Eggs on. Oh, it's not the most. It is the number of them that have eggs on them. Do I have any more? I want to get this black-necked stilt out there because it's worth 4 points. But I don't have the food for it. turns do I have left? One turn left. Because if I play this crane, there go all my eggs from here. I think that's still going to be worth more points, right? Yeah, whoever does this the most gets 6 points, but I get 6 for the whooping crane. So, do it. Still have 1 egg left, I guess. None down here. Yeah. Okay.
Whooping crane. From its low of 20 birds, the whooping crane population has risen to about 600.
Let's see. Birds that can only live in here. I've only got 1. The birds that eat that. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. That's it. See where we end up. Okay. There's my victory points on cards. Nice. My bonus cards. The end of round goals, I did pretty good. Eggs. Food. Ducked cards. Ah. Second place. Great. It's pretty good looking habitat, I think. Look at these birds moving around. The Canada goose dipping its neck. Okay. Sure. Okay, so that is Wingspan. Still one of my favorite board games, and this is a great adaptation. Like, my wife and I last summer would play Wingspan out in our backyard, and it was nice because we could have some music going and we could hear and see like the birds in our backyard while we were playing. And this kind of like, by having the environments and having the animations and the bird sounds and stuff, it really, it gives you that outdoorsy feeling. And it's also got the little bird cards when you get them in the tabletop game. Sometimes I forget to read like the little factoids about the birds, but this, having the narrator read them for you, it's really cool. Yeah. There's my... Whoops. Nope, don't score it again. I just want to look at it. Here's this Puffin's preserve. They only had 1 bird up there, 1 bird down here, and they had a full wetlands. What is this? Oh, you can look at it and so you can see them all at once in less of like a board, or in more of like a board game, board thing. Then this green bird here had 2 birds in their wetlands, 2 in the, or 3 in the grasslands, and only 2 up here. They didn't have a whole lot of birds. They had a lot of eggs though. Is that where they pulled ahead at the end with eggs? And they gain for having birds in their hand. So they were the one who won. Yeah, they really pulled ahead with the tucked cards. What was that? 5 tucked So yeah, they played this one way to the left. So every time they gained eggs, they got to tuck a card back there and get more eggs. So, or no, every time they drew cards, which they were trying to do for their big hand, they also got eggs. So, yeah, a lot of different ways to win. Like, I was ahead here on my victory points on my birds. I did really well at the end of round goals, but the eggs, wow, they really went to hit on eggs. Them too. The eggs and tucked cards, they got way ahead. But yeah, that is Wingspan. Really good version of the game. Really fun. I recommend both this and the tabletop version because they're really cool. Good gateway game into board games. Yeah. Come back tomorrow and see what random game from my Steam library